How's it going, Tanisha Tate?
Hello, Lisa Alves. It's going quite well. How are you?
I like to say nowadays that I'll have to get back to you on that answer.
Oh,
Um,
someone's here.
who's
Carolyn's
here?
here. That
Oh
was
my
fast.
goodness,
We've only been here 2 seconds. I
this is
love
great.
community involvement immediately.
I love it. Isaac's here.
God, I love it so much.
This is great. We just started. This is wonderful.
Hi,
Hello,
Carolyn.
welcome.
Am I in the right room or should I go to Facebook?
No, you're in the
Either
right
come
room.
Oh,
in here,
okay.
or you
You're
could
in the right
watch
room.
on the YouTube link.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm excited about this.
I am too. Thank you so much for, first of all, thank you so much for calling in so fast. This is really exciting. So we're seriously just still introducing ourselves. So everybody out there, hi, my name is Tanisha Tate and I am the artistic director of Cahoots Theater. And this is Lisa. I'm like pointing as if I'm pointing to anything they can see.
Well,
So
I'm Lisa.
Lisa Alves. And introduce yourself, Carolyn.
I'm Carolyn Fay. I'm very excited about what's coming up at Cahoots. I act and I sing and I do stuff on stage, but more importantly, I'm excited for Cahoots.
Carolyn,
There's a word in Tagalog, it means gigil. It's just over the, no word for the excitement I have right now.
Oh my God.
I love that. Thank you.
I love this so much. So Carolyn is going to be in our holiday concert called "And Soon the Year Shall Slumber," and it was a concert that Lisa kept bugging me to name, and I was trying to come up with something clever, and nothing clever was happening. Nothing. And then I said, you know what? We're all kind of waiting for this year to kind of go to bed and start again, and that's when the title came. So yes, soon 2020 shall go to its slumber and we will read something new, hopefully something, promising and better. We'll see, that's the hope. But I know it will be helped by the beautiful stylings of artists like you, Carolyn. So thank you. I'm seeing another, Isaac, are you here?
I think Isaac Thomas is here.
But he's totally silent. So
I'm totally silent.
That is okay.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi.
How are
Welcome.
you?
Good, good. Thank you.
So YouTube land, Isaac is awesome. Isaac is the managing director of Native Earth Performing Arts, and he's also on our board. Yay!
Directors. Woo!
One of the people possibly regretting the hiring of me and Lisa.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Oh, how are you, Isaac?
I'm well, thank you. A little exhausted, but I'm well.
Us too.
Yeah, who knew? So there's a lot of fatigue going around.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Isaac. This is very exciting.
Welcome, pleasure.
So I'm guessing
I'm not turning on video because I am
that is
not
okay.
presentable.
You don't have to explain.
Yeah, you don't need to explain yourself. It's all good.
It's all fine, Isaac. But we're very touched that you popped in. So thank you for being here on the announcement day for our season. Thank you for being here on 365 days of Tanisha Tate. Yikes, where did that go, eh?
No, it's been, I've only been here since April. So since April.
But it's still 6 months of you and me.
I know, it's been half a year already. What?
I know, it's going super fast. super fast. So Carolyn, I just wanted to say that it when you take on a job like this and you're charged with trying to create programming in a very unique time, a super challenging year, it means the world when you reach out to artists and you ask them to take part And not only did they say yes, but they're still as excited as you are. That really makes me feel great, because a lot of artists, I think right now, are just like, everybody's feeling a little bit down, and people are taking things, but they're not always taking things with joy. They're taking things out of necessity, which is totally understandable. But to have people just be genuinely excited about the work and the company means a lot. So I'm very, very happy to have you in our season for the second year in a row. Carolyn, if in case you didn't see, absolutely rocked it in Heelot Means Healer last year. So beautiful. Like, your work was so beautiful. And yeah, and at the time I didn't even know you were a singer.
No, I kept that quiet. There were so many lines to learn for the theater. Forget the singing. I had to put that aside.
So yeah, but and then when I found out that you were a singer and I heard you sing, I was like, oh, now we have to get some of the singing involvement happening here. So really looking forward to that. So Lisa, we should probably talk about this season.
Yeah, I was thinking of like sharing the trailer for those who haven't seen it yet.
I think that would be absolutely fantastic.
Right. Let me do my sharing my screen thing. Technology has been my friend today. We can get into that later. But here it is. I'm going to
What happens if you put it on full screen?
I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that. All right, here we go.
Here we go. I have no sound.
No sound?
Oh, no, there we go.
What a season we have lined up ahead of us. Yeah, that is our 2021 season at Cahoots, our 34th anniversary. Oh no, Tasha, you're muted.
Always. It is.
Oh no.
I mean, I appreciate the underscore, Lisa. It's our 34th season. Cahoots has been around for a really long time. Cahoots was the first theater company in Canada with a specific mandate for cultural diversity. And I'm really, really proud to be leading it at this point with you. And I think that, this is a time in not only our industry and our country, but globally, where the mandate of Cahoots is more important than ever. And I think that really being very strong in the work that we do and committed to the work that we do is paramount these days, because the desire to continue to marginalize people and to oppress people and to promote injustices is sadly a desire that's still very fervent. But I also take a lot of comfort in the desire to fight that, and the desire to make sure that people lead lives, that are filled with justice. So this is our part. I think that there are many, many ways to influence the world, and art is definitely one of the best, in my opinion, one of the greatest. And so what an honor to be able to lead a company that is so innately compassionate in its DNA, you know? Thanks, board.
Honestly, we do have the best board.
We have a
Just
pretty
for-
good board.
Yeah, just for everybody out there, our board is really wonderful. So,
Yeah.
kudos to them.
And I made a comment a few weeks ago about really enjoying our board meeting. And someone said something to me like, that is not a line that's ever spoken. And I'm like, it is in my life, because our board is super supportive.
Yeah.
So we just want to talk a little bit about the season, because we gave these little blurbs, but there's more to talk about why, in some ways, why things were chosen and why and how they came to be. So we knew really early, and I think the interesting part about this season is every theater company is kind of trying to figure out what to do in these crazy, crazy times, right? Like, how do you program shows when you can't have audiences? How do you program shows when you can't have rehearsals for actors? And so I think really early, Lisa, you and I had decided that we weren't going to go down the road of trying to just put a lot of plays on screen.
Yeah.
Because it just felt like it felt kind of like, square peg round hole, trying to force plays to be something else. And I know that many theater companies are doing that, and cool. Like, I think that sometimes it works beautifully, but it was just never the direction that we wanted to go in. And I think also because we felt that the pandemic was so directly impactful on our communities.
Well, yeah, because we were the first to close and we were going to be the last to open. So
Yeah. So we knew that, the performing arts were going to be on hold for a really long time, and that the artists that we work with were going to be on hold career-wise for a really long time. And so what that did for me was I kind of stepped back completely, and I said, okay, what does a season without shows look like? Like, what is that? What is a season without 15, 20 people in the rehearsal hall? Like, what does that look like? And so I really stepped back, and I think that what was great about it, I mean, COVID is awful, but what was great was it made me consider the mandate again in a really new way. It's like, what is our mandate separate from shows? How do we live our mandate if there can't be shows? Yeah.
I mean, I was all in for being a film producer and, getting theater producers on board to digitizing our work. Because, what else were we thinking at the beginning of March, right? A lot of people were rushing to the screen. So I was like, okay, well, I'll change my point of view and my direction. But I think that would have been a lot, specifically for me and also our team, behind the scenes, because I mean, it's a pandemic, first of all, so there's all that going on in our heads and our mental health. And also, like you and I were like, we're new in this, right? So like, did we want to bring back on another thing to learn? So it was nice to have you think about programming in a different way that doesn't involve
Yeah.
a show, you know. So
Yeah. And so, you know, it was an, well, I mean, I saw it as an opportunity also to do a lot of artist development, which is, I think, the heart and soul of what so many theater companies are, or should be, is taking, you know, these like gifted, wide-eyed artists, many of whom have just kind of dipped their toes in the water, some of whom have done quite a bit of work but haven't gotten the exposure that they deserve, and really giving them an opportunity to develop and to just work on what they do and to write and to conceive and to play. You know, like, this is a really great opportunity for that. And I just thought to myself, okay, like, we don't know when we're getting back. And so this is a chance for us all to really think about how we can work differently and develop as artists, rather than being in that constant cycle of produce, promote, you know what I mean? Like, it's this constant thing where you can often stop thinking about like why you're really doing what you're doing. So you and I love to chat.
yeah,
No, it's no secret. We love
Oh,
great
our
conversations.
phone calls go
Our
go
phone calls
long,
are
but they're
awesome.
excellent. They're excellent.
They're awesome. And because we love to talk and we love the conversations that we have, Convo Cahoots
Oh,
exists.
yes, Convo Cahoots. It's so exciting. This specifically was an idea that you had, because wasn't it because like people don't really know me. They know of me, but they don't know me. And it's the same with like other people in the company, right? Like Sahar and Amanda, like they are our backbone as well. And who are they? Like, let's get to know them. So that's one of the first things up on our slate. And the first rendition of this is going to be an interview with me.
That makes perfect sense. I remember that moment. It was, yeah, I remember, I just been thinking about the fact that every time there was a Cahoots related announcement, I was the one making it, which is why I made you do the small change announcement, because I'm like, Lisa, you're a star. People need to know the star you are. So, you know, I'm really, I can't wait to see your interview. And you're being interviewed by board members, right? Which is going to be.
I am. But we're not going to tell the public who just yet.
No.
It's going to be. It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. So Convo Cahoots will be an opportunity for us to talk to all sorts of people in the industry who are really interesting, but who maybe people don't know enough about yet, or don't know certain sides to. So I can't wait. I can't wait to just really start bringing like super exciting people to the table and having eye-opening conversations, and not just conversations about them as artists, but conversations about them as people.
Exactly. Yeah, because I think about like what our additional team members bring to the table. Like Amanda is also a playwright. She's not just our development coordinator. And Sahar, she is doing auditions for film all the time. Like I want to know those different facets about their lives. And like I have a whole different side of me too. I'm not just a producer. So
well, I know that.
You know that because we talk a lot.
But there are so many people in this industry. I look at, you know, the artists that I just am blown away by all the time, and I want to know more about them. So this is going to be an opportunity to get to know more about them, and not just necessarily the people that are on stage, but many of the people that are responsible for creating theater. So looking forward to seeing that. Convo Cahoots is going to be hosted by Amanda, Sahar, and Lisa, putting their best hosting skills forward. So I can't wait to see that.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be super great. Crossing Gibraltar.
Tanisha, I'm so excited for Crossing Gibraltar.
Me too.
Aren't you happy to bring it back?
I'm so happy to bring it back. We didn't have it last year, and I know it was probably missed by a lot of people. So I was absolutely determined to have it in 2021, and we've got some pretty awesome people leading it.
I truly believe that these two are the smartest people in the industry, at least two of the smartest people in the industry. And so I'm really excited to have Yolanda Bennell and Shaista Latif be the facilitators.
I think they're going to do really beautiful, insightful work. So Crossing Gibraltar is a theater and outreach program for new immigrant and refugee youth. And we had an amazing discussion with Shaista and Yolanda, just amazing about what they want to do. And, you know, it's great when we find ourselves really on the same page, but also when the facilitators broaden the page, you know, widen the page. It's so amazing. So that's going to be an amazing exploration with young people, newcomers, you know, it's talking about things like assimilation and erasure and, you know, trying to fit into one place while not trying to lose track of home and what is home. And I'm so excited to see how these youth talk about these issues and what it's like when you feel your culture slipping away and you have to reclaim it, and what does reclamation look like. It's going to be a really very cool time that they have with Shaista and Yolanda, who are going to bring so much rawness and honesty and like love and truth out of them. I just know it. I'm super excited.
Yeah, and I think they're also going to bring a sense of like what goes beyond the work, like all the research, right? Like the importance of really researching your own culture, like what is beyond what you already know, and also self-advocacy for new immigrants and refugee youth going into either different arts colleges or going into new career paths. Like what does that look for them to keep themselves safe and make themselves safer in other spaces? So
yeah. I just want Carolyn and Isaac to know that if you have to get on with your lives, you're not stuck here.
Yeah, you can leave. We're not holding you in chains.
And we're not sending you away either. We're just letting you know you don't have to feel awkward about giving us the slip. So the NB Ensemble.
Oh. I feel like I'm gonna say everything, like every program I'm excited for, but I truly am excited for the NB Ensemble.
I know it's really been the one that I've seen you be the most like tickled pink about.
I know.
I'm really excited about it because until I thought about it, I'd never thought about it. You know what I mean? It was a moment in which I began thinking about a particular group of people that were identifying as non-binary that weren't being given their own spaces. What you started seeing a lot, and I think that there are pros and cons to this, were spaces for women and non-binary, and it was always women and non-binary, right? And I thought, well, wait a second, like those are different experiences too, like, you know. So I really wanted to create a space just for people who identify as non-binary to talk about that and explore that, and to explore that artistically, and in so doing, to not only find a safe space with each other, but to also, I think, bring something to the larger community that many of us haven't seen yet. So I'm super excited, and the facilitators.
The facilitators are just so wonderful. Jay and Jimena they bring their, in my personal opinion of knowing their artistic work, like they're going to bring so many different things to the table. And I think the participants who are going to be in the program are in for such a treat, because there's going to be delicious devising and beautiful exploration, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun.
It is going to be fun. Just talking to Jay the other day, I was like, I can't wait until the group is with you, because it's going to be a blast.
I know we're meeting with the facilitators tomorrow, so it's going to be, it's exciting. So the calls for Crossing Gibraltar and NB Ensemble will be announced later in the month. So if people are like, how do I get involved? I want to participate in these programs. it's coming. We're getting things together, so it's coming out soon. You'll get the announcements. It's all good.
So next is Playmates, and Playmates was an idea that I had because last year, or maybe it was year before last now, I came up with this idea one night lying in bed called Come Play With Me. And Come Play With Me ended up being this amazing scene study class that I taught separate from my George Brown class. And it was just for people who'd never gotten the chance to experience playwrights of color in school, which was almost everybody who's been to theater school.
Yeah.
And so I came up with this syllabus that I really loved, and got the lovely folks at Roseneath to donate their space. And I held this class, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And I had always intended to do it again. And then COVID hit. And I'm like, well, we can't get together and act, but we can get together and love plays.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's a reading group where we're going to read plays through the winter and reconnect to that fundamental aspect of theater, which is what's on the page. And I can't wait to know that there are a bunch of people in the community that are all reading the same plays at the same time. Then we're going to get together and chat. But it's going to be totally informal. So I said in the trailer, pajamas welcome. It's not something where people have to be like, oh, I can't go to the reading group today because I'm, not appropriate. It's like, bring your hot chocolate, bring your robe, and just hang out. It's going to be super chill.
No pressure. It's going to be nice and chill.
Nice and chill. And we will have for each meeting, people will be able to sign up so that we do have a reading cap on each meeting. So we don't have like 80 people trying to talk about a book on Zoom, which could be a challenge. We want to keep the conversation more manageable, a little bit more intimate. But
do you know what play you're going to want to start with?
I don't want to say yet. I was going to say it's Canadian. Yes, it's Canadian. And it's a play. All I'm going to say is that it's a play that has been central in my George Brown syllabus every year.
Okay, George Brown peeps, where are you at? Let's figure this out. Know this.
It is a play by a Canadian woman of color. Is the first.
Hey, that's the hint. That's the hint. Anyone in the YouTube chat want to guess that? Be our guest. But we'll announce it again later.
We will, of course, announce it. So Playmates is going to be a lot of fun. I love talking about plays. I love dissecting plays with people. It's so fun because people experience them so differently. You read a play, I read a play, exactly the same words, and what we feel, what we take from it can be completely different. And then having those conversations can be so illuminating. So
how magical that is. I love that.
I'm excited. Hot House.
Oh.
Okay,
Tanisha, what's up with extending it? Tell us why we're extending Hot House.
Okay, so a lot's gone on with Hot House since I started in this job. One of the very first decisions that I made in this job was to combine the Hot House unit and the Liftoff Festival into Hot House Liftoff. And it is now a writer's unit featuring 10 playwrights, all of whom this season are writing their first full-length play. Many of them have dabbled in other things like short things, but this is the first attempt, and all of them are kind of trying to do it simultaneously. I cannot tell you how beautiful this group is.
I mean, we already know how beautiful they are. Their group picture in the promo material.
Their group picture is fantastic. But the way they support each other, the genuine interest they have in each other's writing, and the way that they give each other pep talks and support each other when any of them are doubting, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So we extended it because of COVID. Normally at the end of everything's because of COVID. Normally at the end of the Hot House unit, there is a public reading of the work. And we found ourselves in a situation where if Hot House ended when it usually ends, which would have been like January of 2021, there would be no opportunity for a public reading. And, you know, a Zoom reading was possible, but I really, really wanted to do the public reading, and especially because they are new writers, and I thought this could be so exciting. And so I said, you know, because many of them are new and because the writing process is difficult already, but doubly difficult if you're a new playwright and quadruply difficult if you're trying to be creative during a pandemic, I didn't want to force the process to be that short.
But
So
also with the dramaturge, like the dramaturgy, like to do all of that for 10 plays, I think it's a very smart idea to have that extra time to, you know, go over all of that. So
and I think that once we started, we realized like how much just richness there was and how much there was going to be to do. So at first I hired Jordan Lafreniere as our dramaturge, who is amazing, one of the sweetest people ever, a really cool theater background in dramaturgy, worked with Garth Drabinsky in New York, worked on Amelie, the musical on Broadway, and just so like down to earth and lovely. He's also coincidentally the new co-programmed coordinator of Sheridan Musical Theater, where I teach. Like the world is just amazing. So it's completely amazing to have him. And then once we kind of saw what was coming out of Hot House and what the demands were going to be, that's when we brought on Wallace Caldoza, who is killer. Wallace and all the dramaturgy work that she's done everywhere, the UK and here and there and everywhere, she is brilliant.
Powerhouse.
The way that she can listen to somebody's idea and get them to distill it or get them to hear back what they said in a way that is not what they thought they said, she's amazing. She just has a way of making people able to hone in on themselves. And she and Jordan are a lovely team, and I'm so excited about the two of them as dramaturges.
So where is the final presentation going to be
held? The final presentation will be next September. So we've extended from instead of ending in January, it's going to September of 2021. So they still have another 11, like almost full year to finish their play. And our final presentation will be with one of our new supporters that I absolutely love, A Different Book List Cultural Center, an incredible center that many of you may know near Bathurst and Bloor in the Annex, that has been a bookstore for years and years and years, but is now this gorgeous cultural center. And another one of the first things I did when I got my job was I reached out to them because I thought there should be a relationship between Cahoots and this place. And so it's amazing. So I cannot wait to start having some Cahoots gatherings and performances in that space. I think that for readings, it's going to be really quite stunning to be
when
there.
When it is safe to do so.
When it is safe to do so, yes. Absolutely. Stephen Jackson is in the house.
Hello, yep. Stephen.
Hi, Stephen. Stephen's.
We're hey.
Not. Hi, how are you? You're happy to be here. I can tell by the
yeah, I just got in the door. Sorry, I was like, running back. Yeah.
No worries. We haven't gotten to your show yet, but I'm glad you're here. How are you today?
I am very well today.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Nice to hear your voice, my friend.
Yes, definitely. Nice seeing you guys there too.
So what's up with that? So what's up with that is like I did not know What's Up With That was a song. I came up with this title. I thought it was awesome. I found out not so original.
It didn't even click in my mind, and I know the skits. So when who was it that emailed us after our newsletter?
Oh yes.
Somebody emailed us and was like, "You gave me such joy this morning with What's Up With That." So
yeah, and I was like, what? So I didn't know that I was not being original, but What's Up With That is a really, really cool project. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Marjorie Chan because she was the person who, while she was still AD, acquired the funds for What's Up With That. And what it is a follow-up to the creation of the DAT, which is the Deaf Artists and Theaters Toolkit, which is a kind of a website that provides resources for deaf artists and theater companies who are working with deaf artists and deaf productions and ASL interpreters. And it's been out there for about 4 years. It was created after Cahoots and Theater Pass Marai did a production of a show called Ultrasound, but it hasn't really been assessed in terms of how it's really impacting the industry and how people are finding its use. And so this is going to be, you know, an assessment of its efficacy and how accessible it is, and whether people who are trying to use it are really getting what they want out of it, so that if there are things that need to be changed about it, that we can go about changing those things.
And who is our deaf community consultant?
Catherine McKinnon is our deaf community consultant. I love, Kat is fantastic. She works with everybody. She's amazing. So in touch with the deaf community, like nationwide. She's also an actor. She knows theater very well. And it's always a joy working with Kat. So, I mean, we had a meeting with her the other day, and we had just asked her to like bring some questions to the table for what we should be asking theater companies with regards to working with deaf artists. Her list of questions was brilliant.
It's good. Like those questions are, it's what's going to make DATS so much better when we start developing the website even further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kat McKinnon, you're amazing. Thank
Love
you
you.
so much. Our concert that we've already spoken to Carolyn about,
Yes.
and Soon the Year Shall Slumber, is going to be a concert over the holiday season, or just before the holiday season, December 13th, I believe. And
We'll announce the date later.
yeah, I believe it's around that time. And we will, it will feature many artists that I have really been quite fond of for quite a long time. Music is my background, music is my love. One of the things that I knew I wanted to do when I came to Cahoots was bring more music to the company in its programming. So this concert is lovely. You don't even know what I'm thinking for the 35th anniversary. There's going to be music all over the place, Lisa.
No, we've already talked about it. I know how much music there's going to be, and I cannot wait.
Yeah.
The
So
fact that we get a little bit of a taste of it this season is so lovely. And how did, like, the lineup for this concert is so rad. I can't get over it. It's so amazing.
they're pretty great and very, very different, but all people that I either knew already or people whose music I discovered and was like, what? So I'm super excited. And I literally still have a long list of people that are for next year. So I can't wait to introduce artists to you if you don't know who they are. So it's Carolyn and Avery Jean Brennan, Tara Jackson, who played Celie in The Color Purple last year, and her voice is ridiculous. Jacob McInnes, who is a beautiful singer. I don't know if anybody saw YPT's production of Cinderella. He's done some beautiful work. He's also on the faculty now of Sheridan. He joined this year with me, which is really, really cool. Sierra Holder, who was a young woman that I saw in a play last year or 2 years ago, never heard of her. And she walked away with the show. Like, I was so blown away by her. So amazing. I should have been counting as I was going. I don't know how many people I've said. Chris Ujiuchi. Chris Ujiuchi is just like ridiculous piano player, beautiful singer, musical director, like known and loved by many. Peter Fernandez, very popular performer, works at Shaw Festival, has done a bunch of work in musical theater, quite beloved. I didn't count. Is there a name I haven't said?
I'm taking a look at her.
Oh, Tahire is, she's also on the Sheridan faculty. Beautiful, beautiful singer, like angelically sweet singer. Very excited to have all of these people who are going to bring such soothing to us in a difficult time. So thank you all. love you all for saying yes. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Three Ordinary Men. Stephen Jackson.
What's Three Ordinary Men about? What is it?
It's a play written by this dude named Stephen Elliott Jackson.
Haven't you guys worked together before or something?
Stephen Elliott Jackson and I have worked together before. He wrote a gorgeous piece many years ago that found its way to the new play contest for the Toronto Fringe in 2017 and won. It was called The Seat Next to the King, and I directed it, and it was one of the best theater experiences of my life. And when I found out about this play, Stephen, what was my response when I found out you were writing this play?
I didn't tell you initially I was writing it. I sent a copy to you, and you read the first three character names, and you like didn't know what to say almost at that point. You're like, what? And because you knew instinctually who they were just by the first names, and yeah, you were just kind of shocked.
I was shocked because that's a story that I know very well. So I open Stephen's script, and I see Andy, Mickey, James, and I'm like, and I see the year, and I'm like, and my heart like just exploded, and I was like, did Stephen write a play about Goodwin, Schwerner, and Cheney? Like, I lost my mind, because so many people who are aware of the civil rights movement know the story of those men and know what happened to these three young, passionate civil rights workers while they were trying to register people to vote during very difficult, very dangerous times in Mississippi. And it's a story that I've grown up with my whole life. And I had no idea that Stephen had written about it. So immediately I was like, Stephen, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you that I am directing this play at some point.
Well,
Love that.
well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I think there's also that initial like, this is a huge story. Where did this come from? And it's scary, right? Because it's, again, people who are very beloved, and there have been people who have approached the material from different ways.
Yes. Yes.
like Mississippi Burning is a great example.
Yes.
And it's not done the best. And I want to tell the story from their perspective. Like, I want to know who they were, because all I kept reading about was what happened after.
Right.
What happened after. And I really want to know the men. And that's the approach I took to the play. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the play was called Three Men. And I remember reading it one day, and Stephen had already won the new play contest in Hamilton for the Fringe. Stephen tends to win contests often when he enters them because he's great, or be a finalist. So it had already won, and I was like, Stephen, do you think they would think it's weird if, even though you already have your spot and stuff, if the name changed? Because there was something about the word ordinary that wouldn't leave me. And I think it was because so often we get this idea that to make change, you have to be bigger than life. You have to be heroic. We always think about these people and think, well, that couldn't be me. I couldn't make a lot of change. I'm just an ordinary person. And I was like, but that's exactly the people that make change. And so I kind of was like, how do you feel about the word ordinary? And he was like, cool. And I love it. I love it so much. And this is a story that I can't wait to tell. And the people that we have cast, it's just, I can't. So Tristan Claxton, whom I did not know before I cast him. I had met him twice, kind of, he'd been in plays I'd gone to see and as friends of friends. So it was like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. But I'd seen him in things, and was like, every time I saw him in something, he was one of the strongest things in it, just riveting. And then the other two people, this is where the mama bear in me comes out, because one of them, they're both people that I've taught to a certain degree. So Jamar Adams Thompson, I directed last year at the University of Windsor, where he starred in the fourth year production of Othello as Othello. he, oh my God,
I mean,
Jamar.
I wasn't there, but I've heard brilliant things.
Jamar is incredible, incredible. Directing him was one of the great joys of my career. And then Jack Copeland, whom I can't believe that I get to work with Jack in this capacity. Jack was in my very first George Brown class in first year.
Gosh.
And now he's graduated and out there, and he's going to be in a show of mine professionally.
And Jack was awesome because we did the reading at Scirocco book launch of See Next to the King, and Connor couldn't make it that night. He was, I think, in England. I believe that's what happened.
Yes.
And it was an emergency. He had to be in England, and Tanisha had known about Jack in the class. Said, well, we could probably ask him, and he came to the table and blew us away, like to come in when everyone in that room knew who had done it before. Like literally everyone had seen it, and he came and he just blew us away, and he just brought so much to the table, like so much in that one little reading, right?
Yeah. And I was really impressed because, I mean, yeah, he was still in school, and I thought to myself, okay, let's see how he does. And Kweku's presence is so strong that I'm like, I hope that he's not shaken by Kweku. They were beautiful. It was beautiful. I was like, very different, but I loved it. So that's that show, which I can't wait to put on. And
yeah, I mean, depending on how COVID situation goes, it'll either be a live performance, social distancing, somehow, some way. We'll stay up to date with health advisories and our comfortability as staff and cast, or it'll be a Zoom play, and we'll make it really cool and beautiful.
And funky stylized version of it, because it's a play that lends itself to some very interesting staging. And so I'm really excited. Like whatever we end up doing, I'm very excited. We're all knocking on wood that maybe by June we can actually do it in a space where audiences can sit in the same room.
Limited capacity.
Yeah. So we hope that happens. And then Black Stage Pass.
Oh, okay. So I remember, I think it was after the PACT conference, I heard Makambe speak, and I went to theater school with Kweku, so like I know the circle, and I know their presence, and like I've been telling you, Tanisha, I'm like, I just want to get them to do something, and it was like separately at the time. I remember thinking, I'm like, anything, think of something. Like, and you brought them together for this amazing program.
I cannot wait to hear these interviews, and part of what really inspired this was that, ever since June, when George Floyd died, everyone and their brother has been talking to Black people about death, trauma, diversity, lack thereof, how to fix it, how to be a better ally. There's been very little conversations with Black people about happiness,
joy,
or joy, or how they're doing, what are the beautiful things in their lives, what light them up. That conversation isn't happening. It's just what can you teach me? How can you make me better? How much are you hurting? And like it's a lot. It's a lot. And so I was kind of like, no, I want to go Black Stage to the heart and soul of what makes people who they are, what makes them tick, what do they love, what makes them laugh, because Black people are more than oppressed. I mean, that is a truth, but there's also a lot more going on. And so Makambe and Kweku, I think, are going to have such fiery and fun interviews with people. I think they're going to be a blast.
Yeah, and it's going to be hosted on our SoundCloud account. So that'll be a monthly podcast interview type thing, and it's going to be great content.
It's going to be really cool. It's going to be really cool. Before I get to the last thing, I want to say we have a little part of our trailer called On the Burner, and that's just where we talk about people that we are working with on an ongoing basis with workshops and residencies. So we are working this year with Amanda Lynn, who also happens to be our development coordinator, Kanika Ambrose, beautiful playwright and soon to be mother, Kanika, woo! And my friend Colleen McPherson, who is a fantastic playwright and whom I've known for 12 years. So let me tell you what happened this morning.
Oh no! We're
So
gonna get into that now?
yes, I'm gonna get to that now because I need to apologize publicly. So we released the trailer this morning, and shortly thereafter, Colleen writes me and she's like, "This is so exciting, this is so amazing, but my name, I misspelled Colleen's surname. Colleen and I have been friends for 12 years. I know Colleen's name and I know it well. Colleen's last name is McPherson, not McPherson. I will tell you why I got this wrong, Colleen, and to the rest of the world who sees this trailer and says, why doesn't Tanisha know Colleen's name? So I was so obsessed with getting DeRay McFarlane's name right because I had once inadvertently written McFarlane. So I kept saying to myself, DeRay, Muck, MC, not M-A-C, MC, MC. I drilled it so much into my head for DeRay's name that when I typed Colleen's name, MC, it is not MC. It is not MC. Yeah. I was like, I cannot believe that in trying to get one name right, I got another name wrong. Colleen,
I should have known because we've done a post with Colleen before. And I remember spelling it as M-A-C.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I was like, you know what? Tanisha knows. Like they've known each other for so long. So I also feel like a little bit responsible because I should have been like double checking the work. So
yeah, but you trusted me, which made sense. Colleen, I love you. I know your name. You are not DeRay McFarlane. You are Colleen McPherson. Okay. Okay, so Pepperpot. Pepperpot in some ways means more to me than almost anything this season because I think it's been so many years coming. As a teacher at a post-secondary theater school, I've heard many, many stories and seen many instances of students of color that are either the only or one of very few in their classes. In institutions that don't have faculty of color, that don't do any curriculum written by playwrights of color, that don't have directors of color, and basically these students are there feeling like, why am I here? Am I here to check a box? Why am I here? Because there's nothing once I've arrived to give me any reason to believe that you were planning for me. So it's been very, very painful for a lot of people. And part of what I, do in my life is mentor. And I've spoken to a lot of young people who have felt very alone at their schools. And so Pepperpot is this really cool idea, which I originally, of course, planned to be in person at our beautiful creation studio, and hopefully in time it will be. But for now, the thing that's kind of cool about it is it can be nationwide.
Exactly.
It can be theater students from Vancouver to St. John's that are alone or almost alone in their classes in terms of being BIPOC students will now be able to hang out once a month on a Zoom call like this and laugh and talk and just be together and remember that there are other people that are dealing with a lot of the same things. So I'm super excited for that. I'm super excited to create that network that has never existed between BIPOC theater students that they can have, for years. And so even if they don't have them in their direct vicinity, they know that they have friends, and maybe you're friends in Calgary or maybe you're friends in Fredericton, but that is something that I'm really excited about and really proud of. And I hope it creates wonderful friendships and wonderful collaborators for years to come.
And it'll be a monthly meeting. So we'll be announcing all of those so that people have time to schedule their lives to be there. And we'll also be making it accommodating to everybody's different start times since it is
Yes.
nationwide. So
Yes.
don't fret if you're thinking, well, I'm in Nova Scotia, and if they're accommodating for people in Ontario, that's not the case. We're gonna
do it for every time zone, so it'll be a perfect time for every time zone in different months. Isaac gave us a thumbs up. Thank you, Isaac. You're awesome. So that is the season.
That's your season. It's a big season.
It's a pretty big season. Yeah. So before we check to see if anybody, we can't see YouTube chat, can we?
I can see YouTube chat. People are I'm on it right now, and people are excited for the concerts. They're saying it's a stellar lineup. There's a shout out for Jimena and Ordinary Men. So yeah.
Thank you. So that is the season. We're very, very excited, but there is something else that we
have two things to announce.
Oh, okay. Oh yes, you can take the first one with regards to
yeah. So earlier in September, we announced an initiative called Small Change. And it was an initiative to provide small funds, small change, if you will, to those in need during these difficult COVID times. And Tanisha and I were like thinking about, as a company, how do we uphold our mandate and support our artists? And we decided to allot some of our budget to helping those in need. And September 30th came by very fast, and we had 128 applicants nationwide, all across Canada, and all of diverse backgrounds, all of different needs, needing the money for different things. We didn't really need to know that, but they provided some clarity about what they were going through in their lives. And we are very happy to announce that we are able to provide everyone who applied with the small change. So I've been processing the payments today, and everybody who applied will be receiving their emails, their e-transfers next week. And I understand, I think a lot of people understand in the arts community that $100, $200, it might not seem like a lot, but it can make or break you in a month. And a lot of people just need that little bit to get by. So we are so happy that we're able to provide this little bit of help. And we hope that it makes life a little bit more easy to breathe. So yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
I know.
So
I'm
happy.
really happy too.
Okay, so there's one more thing that we wanted to share with you. So Lisa and I have been working at home since March, as many people have. Normally, we would be at our lovely creation studio down on Queen East. And that is a really special space. It is a space that is very beloved by the indie theater community. Whenever people come to Cahoots who are like renting it for the first time, they're like, this is such a beautiful space. Or if they haven't been there for a long time, they're like, oh, I miss this space. The space means a lot to people. Were you gonna say something?
No, I'm just like thinking, because like I haven't experienced the space with people because I came in, right? But like being in there by myself, because I go in every so often to do stuff, it is a beautiful space. There's something about it that's just so inviting and nice. And even though I'm by myself, I envision the future of having renters in our space.
What a concept. So our space is a very popular rental space, very popular. Many indie artists who need space come to our space because it's not that expensive, because it's downtown, because Cahoots has a reputation for being very friendly. And we love having people in the space, giving them the opportunity to bring their indie work to life. As we've thought a lot about our mandate, about the people that are, really marginalized and have been going through marginalization for some of the longest times, we've been thinking a lot about how can we really walk the walk with regards to, you know, so many of the people that work for Cahoots are work with Cahoots and rent our space are people that are in the margins, and that's part of the reason why we have rental costs that's so low and really want to honor that. But we've really been thinking a lot about a group of people that we want to do more for, because we believe that history demands it and that present day demands it. And that rather than just saying words and reciting words, that we want to put those words into real practice. And so we just wanted to share tonight that although our rental studio is closed and will be closed for the foreseeable future, that as soon as public health allows us to reopen, that we will be completely eliminating rental fees for all Indigenous artists. Any Indigenous artists that are renting our space will get it for free. For us, that is our land acknowledgement. That is our way of understanding that our space is your space, and we will no longer take money from Indigenous artists to be in our space. So that's what we wanted to share tonight, and we hope that we hope that there are artists out there for whom that will really mean something. I'm kind of emotional about it, but I just wanted to say that we've been wanting to do it for a while, and really glad to be able to.
Yeah, this has been in the works for a bit. And if there's any questions regarding this in the future, people are free to email us and we can discuss, but obviously our rentals are still closed until December 31st. So we'll keep everyone posted regarding that.
So that is everything that we have to say about the season. Is there anybody, if there's anybody around in chat or watching that wants to pop in, you are actually free to do so. You know what I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
Can I put the Zoom link in? Could we put the Zoom link in chat in case somebody who's watching? Yeah, now I don't even know where it is.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay. This is just an FYI for people who are watching and are like, I want to be on the Zoom. This is being streamed obviously to YouTube, and this is being recorded. So if you're cool with that, excellent. If you're not and you still just want to hang out in our Zoom room, cool. Just keep your video off and your mic off, or you can turn your mic on and talk to us. It's completely up to you. We're not forcing anybody. So just give the good old copy and paste. And yeah.
Okay. So if there, now watch, we'll do this in the break. No, everyone will be like, I don't want to do anything. If anybody would like to actually pop into our Zoom room, it's really, really important that people understand that our community really, really matters to us. And not just in the sense of, buying our tickets and paying rental fees. It's really an ongoing dance that we do with the community and try to find out what they're thinking about, what they're feeling, what they're needing, because not only is that important to us just in terms of being human beings, but it's also, I think, where some of the most powerful and beautiful art comes from, is these conversations about our actual real human conditions. And I remember when we were talking about small change, Lisa, we were saying that, yeah, we can give people money to create something, we can commission things, but what about the people that are just trying to live? What about the people that don't have the benefit of sitting down to write because they're so worried about,
paying their rent?
whether their kids, whether they can buy their kids, prescription. And I was just thinking, okay, stories are many, and stories mean many different things. And I think that for theater companies, we often think of stories as the things we put on stage, the things that we produce. But when I think of the stories of Cahoots, I think of the stories of our community just as much. Like what are people actually living? And the fact that so many people are, really, even with some federal help, are always just like $100 away from real dire straits, to me, that is a story that has to be acknowledged. Yeah. And so I was really grateful, like the fact that we were both so on board with small change, really meant the world to me. And I'm so glad that we've been able to, to be there for some people. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we were able to help in the little way that we could. Before I was in this position at Cahoots, I was laid off from my corporate job and I was on CERB. So like, I know it's a scary position to be in, and I'm getting emotional, but the fact that artists are our spirit, our backbone to what we do. We need to take care of them, and we need to do any little thing that we can to support them so that they're there with us when we get out of all this, and
Yes.
when we're there with them. So, and I think that's an ode to the season that we have present. It's a lot of engagement with artists and community, and so what a time, Tanisha.
It is a maddening time. And yet,
in your like first year as an AD at Cahoots, you'd have to deal with any of this.
The answer is no. I remember everything so clearly, Lisa. So for those of you who don't know or weren't here at the beginning, today is my first anniversary at Cahoots. I first walked through those doors as AD on the morning of October 1st, 2019, being like, okay, so what do I do? I don't know what I do. I cannot believe it's been a year. It's insane. I remember every step so clearly. I remember like hitting send on my application. I remember my first interview. I remember the second. I remember just thinking, I don't know, the universe will decide, And I remember getting a call on the 20th of June from Dale.
Dale, our board chair.
Our board chair. And just being like in joyous shock and disbelief. Yeah. It was amazing. And then not even like, and then barely being able to process it because I was still in the throes of work, right? And I was going through like a really big grieving process after losing my mom, and everything was just swirling. And then I had to like go to Cahoots for a few days and try and learn a few things. And then I had to take off to Windsor and direct Othello. Like there was no time to take in anything. And then I got back from Windsor on September 29th, had a day off, and showed up at Cahoots the next morning. I was like, I'm here. What happens next? So it was, yeah. But, it's been a really interesting year. And I have to say the first 6 months were super challenging just because the learning curve is so steep, and you're just figuring out who you are and what your vision really is and what your place really is. And because, expressing a vision when you're applying for a job and then having that vision when you're in the office are two different things. It's like, okay, now how does this crystallize in a real way? And then honestly, you've been a godsend. You've been a godsend, Lisa. I'm so grateful to have you here. I think we make a very entertaining team.
I think so too. I'm really enjoying the times that we're having, and like, I remember in my interview, it wasn't an interview. It was our get to know you chats. you said that you wanted somebody who's like partner in crime. Like, let's get stuff done. We have each other's back. And in my eagerness, a lot of my friends know that I'm such an eager person. I'm like, I want to be that person. And so I want to thank you for just embracing my eagerness. And because like honestly, a lot of people out there just are like, okay, calm down, like chill out. Let's calm down. Let's cool it. But I think we jive really well in that, you know, you have this idea and I look at it and we make it work and we work together to do the thing, and it's happening. It's been 6 months of excellent partnership so far. I have no complaints. I hope you don't.
It's been lovely. And I want to thank the community out there who's been so supportive. It's been really amazing being able to do some of the things that we've done, and the community conversations have been incredible. Everybody that has trusted Cahoots to kind of hold space for you when you needed it, whether it was for Through the Black Door or Abrasions or Mixtape or Color the Closet, thank you for trusting us and for coming to us for that sense of community and comfort. We're glad that we could provide it. It really means a lot. You know, people say, oh, you're so great to provide stuff. And I'm like, but people are so great to trust and so so great to reach back. So I really greatly appreciate that. Same with the people who applied for small change. It's, you know, can be really vulnerable and scary to say that you need some help in some way. But it means a lot to me that people are like, yeah, I can share this with Cahoots. I can share maybe the intricacies of my circumstances with Cahoots. That means a lot to us.
Yeah,
that people feel that they can do that.
Truly, like in our emails to small change applicants, like when we say thank you at the beginning of those emails, we truly mean thank you. Thank you for trusting us, and thank you for, you know, letting us hold that space for you. So.
And thank you to everyone who has donated to.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the people that have donated to Cahoots in the last year, we can't thank you enough. And the donations, sometimes they just come at these random moments and sometimes with the most beautiful messages. And it means the world. It really does. So
it truly, like, there's so many parts of our jobs that make our lives really happy and exciting. But to have a donation come in at like, I don't know, 9 p.m. on a Sunday night, like that's really nice. No matter how big or small it is, to see that come in, it means that the work that we're doing, the people who are able to donate are seeing it and want to support. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Before we wind down, is anybody that's still on the call, does anybody want to say anything about the season or ask any questions or
any thoughts, any clarifications? We can provide that.
We can try.
Again, all the specific announcements for like submission dates and performance dates, all of that will be clarified. I guess not. I guess
okay.
nobody wants to
So
talk.
those three people are very happy to not speak.
And nobody on the live chat. Everybody on the live chat is just like hanging out.
Okay, so I think that kind of bravo on the land. Thanks, Carolyn. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I think of all the decisions that have been made in the last year, that is the one. That and creating Pepper Pot are the two that mean the most to me.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Thank
you.
Yeah. I'm just so happy that we are able to provide that for.
Yes. Yeah, and small change. Those three really meant the world to me.
Okay, well, I'm also going to just say, like, the entire season and all the stuff that we do, I'm just so happy that, yeah.
It feels, thank you, Isaac. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Isaac's support has meant the world to us. To have people on your board that are so supportive and kind while they're also running another company is amazing. It's not like Isaac's twiddling his thumbs. He's like killing it over at
Busy
Naver.
person.
Very busy person, has his hands in a million pots, and is still so generous with his time and his knowledge. So thank you, Mr. Thomas. Stephen, it's such a wonderful eclectic season. That's such a rarity. Thank you. Thank you. We got a beautiful, we've got some lovely comments today, but you know, I really appreciate the people that talk about the construction of the season. So they actually look at it and they're like, oh, the way that this has been put together, the different elements to it really work. I think that when you have a company with a mandate like ours, which is like all marginalized people, it can be difficult. It can be really difficult. You're like, okay, where do we start? How do we make sure that we are really seeing people and honoring people and honoring the beauty and diversity of people? Because running a BIPOC company and a company for marginalized people is it's a gift, but it's also a huge responsibility, right? In terms of feeling that you're seeing people and making them understand that they are visible to you in a world that often makes them feel invisible. So yeah, I love the season, and I'm super excited. I'm super excited to get to see everybody get to work and to pop in on people's like cool Zoom explorations and see just how it's growing. And it's really lovely. Stephen, I'm so happy to be working together again. You are lovely, so talented, and I can't wait. Carolyn, I cannot wait to see you in the concert and to hear everybody's beautiful voices. Oh.
We have a question in the YouTube live chat from Songbird Series asking, what's the play you are reading? I'm assuming you're asking about Playmates. I'm going to assume that. And it's going to be announced. Tanisha gave us a hint. What was the hint again?
I said it is a Canadian play by a woman of color that is a staple in my George Brown first year contemporary scene study class.
So all the George Brown students who have been in Tanisha's class. I don't even know it. I don't even know the play. I'm your managing producer and I don't even know it. You need to tell me these things.
Well, we're not starting tomorrow. Calm down.
I like to plan.
You do like to plan. You are a hot time planner.
Usually, yeah. A lot of the time in meetings, I'm like, okay, can we get to the dates in time?
It's true. I also want to say that it was really great to be on, to be texting with you at like 1 o'clock this morning, back and forth, trying to finish this video.
Yeah, and then and then the newsletter going out a little bit too early.
Oh, so this morning, okay, so we have 5 minutes left. So this morning, we had decided, okay, we're gonna drop the trailer at 11 o'clock, but we had decided previously 10, and we changed it, or so we thought.
So we thought.
So we're like making last minute touches on the video, trying to get it perfect.
Sipping my coffee.
Yeah, we're like, it's gonna go out at 11, and all of a sudden I get a text from Lisa. No.
And the reason why was as the clock struck 10, all of the auto sends from people's emails receiving the newsletter was getting sent to our email. And I thought, what? This is strange. And then it clicked in my mind from my half asleep brain that the newsletter went out with the wrong link in it. It was a auto send. So
yeah. So we were not finished, and it went out with the time that we thought we had changed. So then we had a few minutes of panic, and then we resent and it was all fine. But in those moments, poor Lisa.
It was bad. I like snapped at my mother. She was like trying to talk to me in the morning. I was like snapped at her. I was like, don't talk to me. I need to fix this problem. But you know what? It's fine. Like I think this is a humbling moment. That, you know, things happen. It's 2020. And I don't think that diminishes our season announcement at all. I think
Not in
it
the
adds to our charm.
It gives us stories to tell, Lisa. Wonderful
Exactly.
stories. When
And
we're
now we get to laugh about it. And next season, that won't happen again.
next season it'll be such a well-oiled machine.
Again, this is our, like, for everyone, again, this is our first season, Tanisha and I, as co-leaders of a company. So yeah.
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 So the fact that this has happened is a beautiful minor miracle.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody who has supported us. Thank you.
Thank you for your graciousness. And yeah.
So
Mars retrograde. Yeah, Jimena just said it's the Mars retrograde. Yeah.
seriously. But no, and okay, so Jimena, this is where it gets even funnier, because after the ridiculous auto send that happened an hour early, we finally, like, we finish the video, we send it out when it's supposed to get sent, and like literally as Lisa sends me the thing saying, okay, it's fixed, it's done, I get the email from Colleen being like, but you spelled my name wrong though.
And then you deleted our tweets. It was just like, a lot of tech things. Are we sure Mercury's not in retrograde? Too? I think there's a lot of things in retrograde. Saturn's doing something. I don't know. Planets are doing things. And we announced the season.
We did. It was a crazy morning, but we've announced our season. We are grateful to everybody. We love this community so much. Thank you, Isaac, and the rest of the board. Thank you, Stephen and Carolyn and everybody, and Jimena, everybody involved in this season. We cannot wait to see the work you create. It's going to be gorgeous. And to the people that just believe in Cahoots, we get really lovely messages, random messages, and it means the world. So,
and thank you to Tanisha for programming a delicious season. That's my word for the season, because it's juicy, spicy, and beautiful.
Thank you, my partner. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's been a blast, and we look forward to your continued engagement and trying to make art that will move you and provoke you and soothe you and all of the good stuff. So from Cahoots, I think we're saying good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay amazing, and we'll talk to everyone soon.
Okay, bye.
Stop live streaming.